Hey everybody, Maureen here again, certified dog trainer with Oliver's Friends, and I'm here with Kaiba, and welcome to our second video on training a deaf dog. As you know, Kaiba was born deaf, but I'm not going to let that stop me from having just as great as a companion, just a dog that listens just as well. So join us on our journey as we go through training a deaf dog. Last week, we used a food lure. We held it above the dog's head to get their butt to hit the ground to get them to sit. And then we gave them the thumbs up and then the food. This week, we're going to use the lure. Again, we don't want to bribe the dog, so we don't want the dog to think, oh, I only get the treat when I see it in your hand. So we're going to teach him to do the sit without the lure in the hand. If you remember from last week, I did tell you that Kaiba had already known sit when he came to me, so he knows to have it above his head. So when we started this, the food is in my hand like this, and it goes above his head. I give him a thumbs up, and I give him the treat. Once he understands that concept, that means sit, I'm going to lose the treat in my hand, and I'm just going to tell him to sit. Good. Give him the thumbs up, and then the treat. So he's still going to get a treat. It's just I'm not showing him the treat to show him that that's what he's going to get. I don't want to bribe. Ready? So that's how we're going to refine the sit command. We're just going to add that to it. We're going to add taking away the food lure. To teach the down command, it really depends on your dog. I'm going to show you the first thing that I try with any dog. If it works, great. If not, we'll go to the other options. So I'm going to put them in a sit. Whoops. So I'm going to put them in a sit. I'm going to tell them that's good. I'm going to produce that food lure again. Right? So I'm going to show them that. I'm going to put it right up to their nose. Very slowly go down to the ground in between their paws and out from there. As soon as the body hits the ground, I'm going to give them that treat and a thumbs up. This is, if you have a dog that will do this, this is the easiest and quickest way to do it. We take the dog into a sit position. Good. Take the food lure. Now, because Kaiba's deaf and I want him to understand hand signals, I'm going to make this really obvious when I do the food lure. So I put that food lure in between my fingers like this, and I'm going to use my whole hand to press down. What happens with that is then this, my whole hand going down like this, then becomes his signal for the down command. So let's get him into a sit. He knows I have the lure. I go straight to the ground and forward. You're going to do sort of an L shape. Now obviously I've taught this to Kaiba before, so he understands what we're doing. And as soon as he sees my hand go like that, he's going to go into that down. When you're teaching the down command, I want you to always reward on the ground in between the dog's paws. What happens is if I'm rewarding from up here, the dog's going to want to pop back up to get the reward. If I'm rewarding on the ground in between the paws, he'll stay down there to keep his treat. So what happens if your dog won't do that? There are a lot of dogs that when you do that down in between the paws command, their butt pops back up and they don't want to lay down. So we try two different things. I can try. So if I'm going to try the leg method, I want to get down to my dog's level. I'm going to put my leg out like this, and I'm going to let him know I have that reward. I'm going to slowly pull it under my leg, and as soon as that body lays down, I'm going to give him that reward. Let's try it again. Level, have him come under the leg, and he lays down. Once you have him understanding that concept, it'll be a lot faster to remove the leg and just get him laying down. It's super important when you're teaching the down command, you have to have patience and don't push the dog's butt down. Some dogs will go into that downward dog or the play bow position for a while before actually giving you the down command, but don't push the button down, because if you push them into the down position, then you always have to put your hands up. You want the dog to make the decision to lay down on their own. You don't want to be pushing them down. If they make the decision on their own and get rewarded for it, they're going to repeat that many more times. If you push them down, they're going to wait for that cue to be pushed. So make sure the dog is doing this on their own and you're rewarding it in between the paws on the ground and not pushing them down or holding them down. Next, we're going to go over adding some distractions to the touch command. So initially, we taught the dog right in front of us. The dog knew we had food, and we're showing the dog our hand. The dog is now touching our hand, empty hand without food in it, getting a thumbs up, and then getting a reward. We're going to start adding some distractions in. And what I want you to do is just kind of go out in your backyard or in the house. I want the dog to be not paying this perfect attention to you. Maybe they're just laying there quietly, maybe they're playing with another dog. Just make sure you have a slight distraction, not so much that you know they're not going to listen to you, but enough that they're not 100% focused on you like in this training session here. So what I do is I go out in the backyard, we're walking around, we're playing, and then every once in a while, I just randomly, he looks at me, and I give him the touch command. He comes up to me, and I give it to him. And so he understands that you don't have to just do that touch command within the realm of a training session. So here's a perfectly good example. He's walked away from me, he wants to go sniff the pond, so I'll just wait till he looks back at me. He's looking for frogs right now. I wait till he gives me just some sort of check-in to look back at me. And I hold my hand down and I give him the touch command. This way I know that he understands that he should do that anytime. The really important thing here when I'm teaching the touch command is I'm going to send him back to doing what he was doing. So he left, I let him go back to doing what he was doing, and I'm teaching him that the touch command is not the end of his fun. So similar to the come command, I don't want him thinking that when he comes to me that means we're going inside and fun is over. So I randomly, just while I'm walking around outside with him, I have him come to me, give him the reward, and send him back to doing what he was doing. This will give you a much stronger touch command because they don't feel like they have to leave something that they are interested in order to come to you. They know they can go back to it. So he's kind of walked away, he's wandering around. I'll wait till he looks back at me again. Send them back to play. And that's how you're going to get a really strong come command or touch command. So the last thing I'm going to work on with my non-hearing dog is getting his attention. So this would be more for, we're out in public, we're walking around. He's on a leash obviously because I'm not going to let a deaf dog off leash because I can't warn him of danger. But he's on a leash and I just want him to look at me so I can give him a command. So what I'm going to do with that is really simple. I mean, sort of like you would teach your dog their name, you would say Kaiba and then give him a reward, even if it's praise. Very similar to that. I'm going to be just walking along, let him not pay attention to me, and I'm going to tap him and give him a treat. And what happens is your dog winds up learning when you tap them to turn and look at you. So this tap doesn't become something bad. It becomes a way to get their attention, and then they look to you for a command. So initially, I'm just going to tap and treat, similar to the thumbs up. So I tap, I treat. I tap, I treat. I tap, I treat. Then I'm going to progress this to I tap, I give a command, and I treat. And so what he'll realize is that tap means pay attention to my hands so that you can get a command and know what to do. Some dogs don't like being touched from behind, and I don't want my deaf dog to be startled. when someone comes up from behind them and taps them. So this serves two purposes. It gets his attention to look at me, but also he's not going to be startled if someone walks up behind him and does something like that. He's going to go, oh, a treat, or an opportunity to do something for a treat. So this is a really good way to get his attention and not have him spooked by things that he can't hear or see that come from behind. Okay, so let's just go over again today the couple things that we'll be working on. For the sit command, I am going to lose the food lure. So I have an empty hand, and I'm going to give him the command with that empty hand. I'm going to give him the thumbs up to tell him he's done the right thing, and then I'm going to food reward. When we're first training behaviors, it's all about the food. You need to give a treat for every behavior. Down the line, we're going to lose that, but to keep their attention initially and to set up that reward system, it's really important to keep rewarding. Again, that's why I use kibble. So we're going to lose the lure though, so that we're not driving down the road. The next thing we went over is the down command. That we're going to bring the lure back. I'm going to get him to sit. I'm going to give him a thumbs up for sitting. Every once in a while I'll treat the sit, but I don't have to every time. Then I'm going to take my food lure in my hand, really obvious, straight down and forward, like an L. Again, if that doesn't work for your dog, if they're really giving you a hard time, I would first try to slow it down. So really dramatic and slow, go down and forward like an L. And then if that didn't work, you could try under your leg or an appropriate height chair if that doesn't work. The important thing is, as soon as the whole body is laying on the ground, we're going to reward between the paws on the ground so he doesn't feel the need to pop up. With the touch command, we're adding distractions. So we're going to let him run around the backyard, let him do some activities. I wouldn't try to do this while he's chasing a squirrel or something like that. That's too much of a distraction. But he's wandering around, sniffing, doing what dogs do. I'm going to make him do the touch command, reward him for it, and send him back to what he's doing. So we're just doing this outside of the realms of a training session. So he understands to do that all the time. And then the last thing that we discussed was the getting his attention. Like I said, this is super, it helps to have a safe dog, because if someone just walks up behind him and does this, he's not going to be upset. He's going to be looking for a reward. In addition, it's my way of getting his attention if he's not looking at me when we're out on a walk. Again, I have a different way of doing that when he's in the yard. That's another video that I'll share with you. It's a vibration collar, but I don't generally walk him on that because he's on a leash. He's right next to me. There's no need for it. So I want him to understand that that tap means look to my hands, look to me. I have your attention, and now I'm going to give you something else to do.